harder than a diamond in an ice storm, smooth as the other side of the pillow. A god-danged modern art masterpiece. Gentlemen, it's as if John Moses Browning, Eugene Stoner, and our Lord Infantile Baby Jesus got together over a bottle of 25-year Pappy Van Winkle and crafted this marvelous, beautiful, finest handgun the world has ever seen. Are you tired of your pistols looking more and more like space guns? Yeah, me too. Are you tired of folks building pistols that look so tactical that they're hardly distinguishable between red anno Punisher skull builds and a $10 bajillion custom gun? Yeah, I can't be the only one. Are you tired of being told to embrace the modern when all they do is look like 269 pounds of hammered dog crap? Yeah, me too. So listen up, friends, and let me bend your ear about a modern gun with traditional looks and the perfect chef's kiss of modern day technology. You handsome devils, let me introduce you the Alchemy custom weaponry Quantico high cap. Starting back in 2011, we have the beginning of Alchemy custom weaponry, founded by a gentleman by the name of Rob Shulin. Sorry if I butchered that. If you're listening to this, my apologies, man. Anyways, what started off as a custom gunsmithing shop, making other guys' guns do the bang thing, but more gooder, turned into what we have today, a company acquired by Cabot, an entire company dedicated to making modern 1911s with the styling true to its original and timeless classic heritage. In a time where it seems the old adage, less is more, has been completely thrown in the trash, thrown out the window, stepped on and ran over when it comes to making high-end custom hand-fitted pistols. These mad lads over there were like, nah, we ain't about that life. We don't want no space gun, ray guns, or whatever. We want authentic, original, and minimalist styling on our handguns. Alchemy got together and they said, hey, I am tired of these $6,000 space-looking gats, as if they let toddlers on the mill machine and played with them too long and made so many serrations and cuts and lightning ports and all that other stuff on the sliding frame that you could probably saw down a naughty white pine tree in half after your range trip with just the slide alone, because they're so sharp and so many edges and serrations and all of this other crap. So gentlemen, let's dive in and talk about this timeless styled pistol from Alchemy Customs. First things first, guys, they demand $4,000 for this gun. So we're gonna get to the bottom of it and see if this double stack 1911 here is worth the hype and worth that kind of money. So yes, a double stack 1911, 2011, whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. There's only two people who technically own that patent to call it a 2011. I believe it's SVI and STI, which is now Staccato, something like that. But guys, 1911s and 2011s, these guns are absolutely the pinnacle of what you want out of a 1911. Double stacked for more magazine capacity, and they even chamber 9mm, 10mm. Some companies do them even more. So we have one of the most inherently smooth and accurate pistols of all time with the same capacity as other mid to full-size pistols on the market. Glock, Sig, no matter what, they're all pushing right around 17 to 20 rounds. Oh, and with a better trigger that doesn't feel like a rubber band waiting to snap. I'm talking about you, Glock. It takes your standard 2011 Staccato mags OEM by Checkmate Industries, which is a phenomenal magazine, extremely well-built mags with a high-polished stainless body. These things are extremely consistent feeding and reliability, but they also come with a pretty gnarly little price tag for that quality control and high build quality. Typical retail on these mags right now is around 65 bucks a pop, so not cheap at all. Actually, kind of outrageous if I'm being honest, but I guess that's just what it costs in 2024 to build a well-built mag and QC'd stainless steel magazine body that simply just works. Also, mega pro tip for you guys, search out Checkmate Industries 2011 magazine online to buy. They're 50 bucks a pop, roughly, for the same dang thing that Staccato. It's the same thing that Nighthawk, Staccato, all of these guys use. They make it without the fancy logo engraved on it, of course. It's like buy four, get one free, comparing them to buying off your favorite manufacturer's website like Nighthawk, Alchemy, whatever. So that's pretty rad. I love you, King, so save your money. Now, when it comes to double stack 1911s and 2011s in general, there's essentially three major parts to the gun: the frame, the grip module, and the slide. You have a steel frame here and a steel slide. They're hand fitted together, meaning you have a weapon that's unbelievably smooth. Over a video, guys, it's genuinely just impossible to convey how smooth these hand-fitted guns are, and especially this Alchemy here. It's as if, say, a Swiss watch company like Rolex put some ball bearings in here, then use some magic grease and just fit it all together. It's crazy impressive. If you've never felt a custom-built 1911, you can't just understand it. And the best way to describe it is like, if you get one of those old Milsurp guns, say an M1 Grand for instance, they've been shot a million times, the action is just buttery smooth, there's just minimal resistance and minimal friction in the whole slide process. It's just a wild feeling, especially if you come from those mid-tier kind of like striker-fired pistols, Glocks, SIGs, and things like that. You pick one of these up and it's just like, oh my God. Now, I gotta say, it's not quite as smooth as like a Nighthawk or like the Atlas, but they also cost a lot more. This one definitely isn't on the highest tier of smoothness, but it's an absolutely unreal fitment. And if you pick one of these things up without any other experience from those $7,000 pistol makers, it will absolutely blow your mind. So I wouldn't call it as smooth as like a Nighthawk or something like that caliber, but again, they're $7,000 guns. This thing is $3,000 cheaper. So at the price point, it's right where it should be. It's better than a Staccato kind of fitment, but you know, it's not quite on the Nighthawk. It's right where it needs to be. Now, Nighthawk has some witchcraft and wizardry kind of smoothness, so that's kind of unparalleled in my experience. So let's talk about some of the features of this guy here. First, we have an optic cut, which is optional in your build process. These guns are completely custom. You have a bunch of different options to choose from, you know, to style your handgun. First one being the optic cut. Again, it's optional. It's $395 if you want an optic cut. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't get it. I mean, first things first, let's talk about resale value down the road if you don't want this gun anymore. It's simply saving you time and money if you ever want to leave Team Iron Sight Gang, and people are just gonna want a dot on these expensive pistols, so you might as well just get it. Now you have a rail on the frame for all your weapon mounted lights needs, your choice between a rounded or squared trigger guard, a choice of a hammer as well. We got the Delta ring kind of looking thing and then just a regular ring hammer. It's a very customizable gun. However, there's one thing that you can't customize to me, and for some reason, I just don't see why they don't do it. It's kind of mind-boggling. Guys, this is a $4,000 handgun, and if you spec it out to build with all of their additions, tax, transfers, whatever you name it, you can push almost $5,200, $5,500. That is a very pricey handgun, and it comes with a polymer grip module. Like, I get it, it's super light. I'm assuming it's cheaper. It's much easier to work with and manufacture and easier to fit to each gun, so on and so forth. But good Lord, at least give us the option. I mean, me personally, guys, I'd pay pretty good money to have a classic and timeless double diamond metal grip module fitted to my gun. Not because a metal grip module is going to be better and it's going to give me crazy more performance or anything like that, but it just feels like a real gun when you hold it. There's something about a metal frame pistol that it just makes sense and it just feels amazing in the hand. Not to mention, this company is all about retro styling and making the ode to old John Moses Browning. So I ask of you, Alchemy, give us a little metal grip module choice. You know, I'm serious, guys. I would pay probably pretty decent money just to have it on here. And again, it's not because it's a performance thing and it's going to make the gun better. For some reason, maybe it's just me, maybe it's my inner FUD, but when I grab a plastic gun versus a metal gun, one feels right in the hand and the other one is the plastic gun. So it's not just 100% polymer. There's also carbon fiber and Kevlar mixed in with the grip, and they definitely come out very nice and very tasteful. But here's the thing. I'm buying this gun 1000% because of its styling. There is a million different other options out there, and there's probably some better handguns out there as well. Granted, they may cost $7,000, but they're probably better. They might be marginally better because this thing is accurate, this thing is reliable, but I don't think there are too many shooters listening, including myself, definitely not myself, that can see $2,000 more in performance out of, say, a Nighthawk versus a gun like this. And those other options, they all probably look like a space gun anyway. So I'm picking the Alchemy because it is an amazing firearm. And second, it's styling. It's just beautifully minimalist and plain that it actually makes it kind of a unique pistol in today's custom 1911 market that's very saturated. And that's genuinely, I think, their entire goal. Amazing pistols that look original, an ode to the timeless classic. They make that very clear, but daggone it, give us a metal grip module for us fuds that like heavier guns that just, make your belly cold when you carry them and stuff. It's my FUD, just appease me, please. Next thing I'd like to talk about is their extended mag release. So first things first, it fits the aesthetic of the gun here, and it actually looks really nice and has a super nice knurled texture on it. You can't miss it and you can't slip your finger off of it. But I did find myself dropping loaded mags out of the gun, not all the time, but quite a few more times than just once, which obviously is not a good thing. It's just a touch too stuck out. And when I'm gripping the pistol with some real positive control during fast and dynamic strings of fire, this is when it happens. I'm working on keeping that pistol under control, keeping it flat, and sometimes my support hand just does the ejectocito cuz mod. Not really a huge deal because, well, I guess really it actually is kind of a big deal. I would just personally advise from my own personal experience to maybe not go that route and just go with their standard one. But who knows, it could just be me and it could work perfectly fine for everybody else. For some reason for me, it just didn't seem to agree with my grip and my aggressive kind of grip. The pistol. Let's talk about how this pistol shoots. Now, first, shooting a 9mm 1911 is already like cheating when it comes to recoil management, honestly. It's almost non-existent, but add in a perfectly tuned hand-fitted weapon, it's like you've got aimbot hacks on COD. Okay, I still suck at shooting, but the gun itself shoots absolutely amazing. The factory trigger, it's pretty solid. Now, gentlemen, I'm quite a bit of a trigger snob. I've made that pretty apparent over the past year or so doing this. And I like the factory trigger, but just not enough for me to leave it be, not tune and kind of tweak it up. It's just a touch too heavy for my liking, right around that 4-pound mark. I think they advertised 3.5 to 4 on their website. Mine was closer to 4, so I prefer closer to the 2.5 mark. Now, again, it's a great trigger, but it's just not to my personal preference, which is not a big deal. You can get it tuned up by your favorite smith. You can even do it yourself. It's not a science rocket, but if you aren't, well-versed with this kind of stuff and gunsmithing on expensive guns, maybe try and send it out the first time. So let's just talk about the gun as a whole. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is one of my favorite pistols I have ever owned. It has the looks, it has the feel, the reliability, the accuracy. Now, if it just had that metal grip module, no, but honestly, guys, you will absolutely love this weapon. It's not too often that I give just absolutely raving reviews. I spent a lot of money on this gun. I think after tax and everything, it was just under $5,000. You put the RMR HD on it, your light and everything. And yeah, it gets a little pricey. So when I spend a lot of money on these guns, guys, I am going to be pretty daggone critical of it. And I really don't have much to be critical about. It's just crazy smooth and it's got the looks. The only thing legitimately I would change is just this grip module here. I'd love to get a classic timeless style double diamond and a metal grip. It's just such a great build and such a fantastic change of pace from the space gun, over-decorated, saturated market that we have today. Like, dog, we have strayed so far from home on some of these modern 1911s, if you will, that I'm beginning to question if we as Americans don't even remember our Lord, Saint, and Savior John Moses Browning and how he actually revolutionized the entire world of handguns, period, with a gun so phenomenal that essentially, approximately, I'm doing some rough math in my head, 99.98% of all modern handguns utilize some sort of the original 1911 design, especially that 113-year-old tilting barrel delayed lockup design. Why are we trying so hard to look so drastically different from the minimalist and professional looking gun? This isn't just handguns in general. I notice this extremely often in the AR market as well. Pretty much everything worth carrying in 2024 is going to be some sort of Browning's 1911 design with a modified trigger and modified magazine, and just copy the homework, change things up a little bit. And to be honest, everything since then has been a mistake. I'm looking at you, Glock, and your disgusting spongy rubber band monstrosity you call a trigger. Oh, you spent $300 on a custom hand polished drop-in trigger for your Glock? Neat. You've taken it from, I wonder if this thing is ever gonna go bang, boom, scares the heck out of you, to, I think it might go bang right now. I don't know, but I digress. it wasn't really until like the past 4 to 5 years did 1911s really make this new resurgence in popularity, and it has been the biggest explosion in the entire gun market in quite some time. We're talking a couple decades. A whole new generation of shooters are fielding 1911 handguns in probably the highest number ever. Now, keep in mind, it wasn't until roughly like the 80s that there was a true competitive semi-automatic model against the 1911, and even then guns like Glock and the Beretta M9 weren't stealing much of its thunder until really the 90s, and they had proved themselves as quality firearms. Shoot, even hobbyists, sporting shooters, law enforcement agencies were in large part still using some sort of double action 6-shooter revolver. Talk about some pilgrim stuff. And now today, it would appear we finally came to our senses as Americans. And when it comes to the Alchemy, guys, they really hit the nail on the head with this thing. Phew, quite a rant we had here today. So, gentlemen, that's a wrap. I want to introduce you to the Chubbs Memorial National Golf Tournament. Rest in peace, Chubbs. 1996, got taken by that gator, fellas. Anyways, I can't begin to describe how awesome it is that you guys join me here once a week and spend part of your day here. Y'all are the best, and I cannot thank you enough. We're currently at like 135,000 subscribers. So I suppose next stop, let's get to 1 million. So until next time, gentlemen, say it with me. Run your gun and not your mouth.